Hey guys, so today I want to discuss a topic that I feel is misrepresented in fitness. While true, I feel that the way it is taught or marketed leads people astray. And what is that? This idea of counting calories or calories in, calories out. So the basic premise is this, and which is true. All weight loss or weight gain is a matter of input output. If you're Let's say we're going to use round numbers. Let's say if 2,000 calories a day is the amount of calories that your body is burning at rest plus the minimal amount of activity that you're doing is 2,000 calories, and you eat 2,500 calories, you're in a surplus of 500 calories a day, how the math would have it, being that 3,500 calories is a pound of fat. If you ate in a surplus of 500 calories a day, you'd find yourself in a week's time gaining 1 pound of fat. The inverse is true as well, is that if you were in a deficit of 500 calories a day, let's say you were eating 1,500 calories a day with a baseline of 2,000, you'd find yourself losing 1 pound of fat in a week. This remains true on the macro scale. Yes, of course, but this is where I feel like both the way it's being taught and the way people are receiving it is leading people astray. So the way that this is leading people astray is that it's being sold as the end-all be-all to weight loss or weight gain. You'll go read comments on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, of people, describing their unique position, they're having issue losing weight, yada, yada, yada. And people will comment almost like talking them down, saying, yeah, calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out. Let me bring some clarity to this. While yes, fundamentally true, it is an input-output system. The problem with this is that when they determine what a calorie is, and let's say you read the nutrition labels on a bag of chips and it says 150 calories, the way it determined those calories was in an external bomb calorimeter, which is not inside a human body. Everybody has variance in how they process certain foods. And on top of that, that's just a gross number. That's not a net number. Now, let me explain that to you. What is a calorie? A calorie is just a unit of energy. It's how much it takes to raise a certain amount of water, a certain amount of temperature. So being that it's just a unit of energy, it would make sense that if you're a surplus of energy, obviously you're going to have a net gain. And if you're in a deficit of energy, you're going to be at a net loss. With that being the case, let me tell you why it is a mistaken strategy to just view it as a calorie in, calorie out. Let's take 100 calories of a whole food, let's say almonds, for example. We're not talking about how much volume it actually has. Of course, there's going to be different volumes in certain foods that are more caloric dense than other foods. I'm just using, let's say, however amount of 100 calories of almonds would be, that amount. And then let's say we'll take something hyper-processed food, a bag of chips, 100 calories. While yes, they both are 100 calories, the net effect is going to be different, both in body to body, but even not factoring in for the individualness of each body, is that it takes the body a certain amount of calories to yield the nutrients via digestion of that which you consumed. So if something is hyper-processed and easier for the body to break down, naturally it's going to take the body less calories to burn it, to yield the energy from it. So thus its net effect in the body is going to be more closer to this full 100 calories. Or let's say we'll take almonds, which is a whole food, unprocessed. Let's say it's even raw, which probably even takes more for the body to extract the nutrients. Now, I can't tell you for certain how many calories it takes the human body to extract the 100 calories, but let's say it takes 10 calories. So the 100 calories you consumed from the almonds, its net effect in your body is actually 90 calories. So yeah, you're saying, oh, okay, but Maishi, that's so insubstantial. It's a tiny amount. Maybe over one serving of one food, But when you take this over the course of the day, even if it was just 100 calories, and I'll tell you, I think it could even be more, maybe 200 calories, over the course of the week, over the course of the month, over the course of a year, it makes a significant difference. It can make the difference between 5 pounds. That's not an inconsequential number. That's a significant number. So that's one thing. The second thing, which I also find to be very important, and while it doesn't refute the calories in, calories out on the whole, what it does refute is that, let's say you're in a calorie deficit. So you're in a calorie deficit ostensibly because you're trying to lose weight. So your goal is to lose weight. Certain foods are going to impact your satiety and your the cascade of hormones that are going to go on in your body, which is going to yield a result in terms of hunger cues. Now, if you're going to eat a food that is very calorically dense, takes up a little amount of real estate in your stomach, and you're going to eat that, yeah, it's the same amount of calories, but it's going to leave you starving. So the problem when approaching with this calorie in, calorie out, and I said when it's sold as the end-all be-all, you'll find yourself eating, your 2,000 calories of foods that leave you starving. And as I've covered in previous videos, when it comes to a matter of your prefrontal cortex battling your hypothalamus, essentially your willpower going against your underlying systems that you have no conscious control of, in the long run, you'll always lose. So for sustainable weight loss, you need to make sure that you're eating foods that are going to keep you satiated, your body full of nutrients. So it's a horrible idea, just this idea that counts calories. Now, I'm going to say this once again. On the overarching idea, calories in, calories out, is correct. I just don't feel like the way it's being sold to the public is conducive for people to hit their end goals. If this is a topic that you want more clarification on, I'm more than willing to deep dive into a future video. Do me a favor, hit the like button, drop a comment on any topics that you'd like for me to further discuss, and as always, please subscribe to help support the channel. Thank you so much.